Good evening, gentlemen. This is Sir Yeetus, and welcome to episode 67 of Yeetus' Thoughts. Oh boy. The sweet irony of the entire situation in Ukraine. I know I spoke on this yesterday, but I gotta put even more emphasis on the whole hypocrisy of feminism that's happening in Ukraine and what feminists and liberals are saying about the situation here in the US right now. Oh, it's hilarious. It gave me a good chuckle all day today. All day today. Because I'm thinking, like, so we're going to do the women and children scenario, I guess. Even though they claim that they're, once again, equal to men in all aspects, superior to men. We don't need a man. But I guess, the women has a choice to stay. See, I'm gonna say it again. They have a choice to stay and fight. A choice. Men, young men from 18 all the way up to elderly, 60, do not have a choice. They are locked in. They are forced to fight and die. They don't have a choice. This ain't no volunteer for it. No. The Ukrainian president said, hey, you're staying here and you will fight. You will die for your country. So it got me thinking to myself, I'm like, let's say World War III happens, right? Hypothetically. How does the US know if they will do it to men as well, right? And I'm pretty sure that's what these feminists in the US are baking for. They're banking on that uh hope that they don't have to pick up a rifle and fight. But nah, what happened in Ukraine literally shows that feminism is a facade. It's a fallacy. It's a complete joke. Complete joke. You ride on the backs of men your entire life. Your entire life. As a woman in the first world country, you ride on the backs of men. But clearly, uh literally all women, they tend to live in their own little world. Like they're in their own movie. So they can't really think of the big picture sometimes. Or most of the time. They can't think of the big picture. Who is taking out your trash? Who is building these roads? Who is dealing with majority transportation? Who is getting all the oil? Who is fixing your cars? Who is building the infrastructure? Who is creating most of the technology? Who is creating that little AC? Because I remember that situation a few years ago. That one woman on the news said that the AC was sexist. That's how good they got it. It got to the point in society that air conditioning is sexist on the backs of men. And then they want to act all confused and shocked why we don't take modern women seriously. We don't. No. Thanks to the Simpson power a little over 100 years ago. Look what you did to society now because you just want to be so empowered. I'll do what I want. And you fucking have a pout, complain, bitch, and moan because you're not getting your way like a child. So I already know we have Simpson power in the US. But look at the example in Ukraine. The Ukrainian president, in my opinion, big old simp. Big old sip. Because I know for a fact feminism is practiced over there. So why not the women that have no children? Why can't they pick up arms and fight? Why can't they stick with their equal counterpart of the opposite sex and go down with their country, fight to the death? Like what that guy Pete said. In any face of adversity or danger, women and men will revert back to their original roles. But here's the difference. For the first time in history, men are exposed to what women truly feel about us. You see in Ukraine, women literally see men as being another statistic. You guys go fight that. You guys go fight that war. You guys go fight that superpower over there. But like, whoa, hold up, lady. I thought you were preaching you were equal and stuff. What's going on here? Why can't you stay? Why can't you pick up a rifle yourself? Oh, I'm just a little fragile old lady. Oh, I can't fight. I'm a woman. But didn't you say that you were superior to men? Like, really? So while a good amount of men are going to be dying, the women and the children will skedaddle to a different country and leech on another man, leech on their government until Ukraine possibly calms down in the future. Then maybe they'll come back. But this is the whole hypocrisy of feminism, gentlemen. Because of the situation, you can clearly see. You can clearly see. They don't believe in that feminist bullshit. They love the benefits at your expense, gentlemen. They love the benefits. And you take the consequences. You take the responsibility. And like I said a couple of streams ago, yeah, men were in charge back in the day, but we had the responsibility, okay? Responsibility with authority, that's being a leader. But responsibility with no authority, that's slavery. And that's what men has been dealing with for 70 years, 60 years. We are just a number to these model women and gentlemen. That's it. They will wring you dry and enjoy the benefits that you pretty much gave them. And then when shit gets slightly uncomfortable, it gets slightly out of hand, things get slightly not normal anymore. When the unknown starts to creep up, they look at directly at you and say, "You take care of it." Gentlemen, you need to understand, don't believe in this feminist bullshit. Because I guarantee you, let's say things pop off, hypothetically again, when it comes to the United States. Do you really think these effeminate men are going to pick up arms? No. No. Since they're already raised by society to be weak and fragile, they're not going to go to the front lines. They're going to refuse to go into the front lines. They're going to be looking at the masculine men to take care of it. The male feminists, the regular feminists, the feminine men, the alphabet community, etc. They want you to die for their freedoms. And I'm just saying this now because who knows? Who knows if the US gets pulled in? Who knows? But what happened in Ukraine, it pretty much proved our point that we've been saying for the longest time. She's not yours. It's just your turn. She don't care about you as a person. She cares about what can you do for her, including dying for her rights and benefits. And then she can just hop on to the next man that's still alive. I know, it's an uncomfortable truth, but that needs to be spoken, gentlemen. Look at what's happening in Ukraine. I'm sure there's a decent amount of men, especially young men, that doesn't want to fight. They don't want to deal with the horrors of war. But of course, the simp in power, the Ukrainian president, it's like, no, you're going nowhere. You're going to fight until you lose your life. You're either going to be free or you're going to explode or catch a few bullets. I just want you guys to really think on that. The hypocrisy of feminism, is right there in your face. When things are going good, to these modern women, you ain't shit. But shit hits the fan, they expect you to be Captain Saberho. And yes, give up your life, because to her, she can always get another man. It is what it is, gentlemen. It is what it is. And I do plan on continuing talking about this. This won't take long. This live stream is only going to be around an hour long, tops. But I'm going to let you guys come in and give your thoughts on the hypocrisy that we clearly seen in Ukraine. Literally, a whole country, when shit gets real, no feminists in sight. Just like what Bill Burr said, there are no feminists in the house fire. None. They're gone. And yeah, there are women that did stay behind to fight. But the women, you got to understand, the women had a choice. And what did majority of women do? They skedaddled. You got to think about that, gentlemen. Think about that. Hell, that's borderline black pill at that point. You know, I'm dropping some uncomfortable truths, but it is what it is. Or should I say a hardcore red pill? I don't know. But I'm giving you guys the uncomfortable truth. Let me add a couple of people up in here. I got two good guys that can give us a good conversation, good perspectives. The one, the only, that guy Pete that you refused to invite to gatherings. What is going on, man?
Puniti, what is up, my brother? I know you've been trying to get me on the show, but, been working my ass off, so found some time today.
Hey, man, it's all good. I'm glad you made it. And I'm going to be adding Gray. What's going on, Gray?
Evening.
Okay. We are going to start with that guy Pete. Based on the little rant that I made, because I didn't even get all my points out yet, I don't think, because I don't have a script or anything. But what do you think about what I said so far?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for all of us here, is it really surprising? No. But probably to the feminists, they are shocked at what they are seeing. Essentially, Ukrainian women laying on their backs for Russian soldiers on Tinder. And no, it doesn't shock us at all. But yeah, I'm sure it does not bring these Ukrainian men comfort to know that they've been upgraded from misogynistic piece of shit to cannon fodder. I am pretty sure that does not make them feel any better. And yeah, in terms of, the United States getting involved, Ukraine is not a NATO country, which means that we have no obligation to actually step in. And I think what we're going to see is we're going to see a repeat of what happened when Germany went into Poland. We're just going to sit on our hands and not do shit. And then they're probably going to go maybe for Moldova afterwards. And that's like Czechoslovakia. We're still not going to do shit. And then eventually, because Putin, we all know, he has a wet dream to bring back the Soviet Union. It's no secret. He's always lamented the fall of the Soviet Union. Eventually, he's going to attack the Baltics, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, which are NATO countries. And at that point, then World War III is going to start.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Hypothetically, if that does happen, well, this is what a lot of men and all Western women can comprehend. The thing that's happening in Ukraine, how do you know that the same thing is not gonna happen in the US?
Correct. And on top of that, I mean, again, you talked about how like these women, modern women, they don't appreciate freedom because they've never had to spill their blood for it. I mean, even in World War II, at least like the women were in the factories making shells and guns for the men. Like they had a stake in it, but like women haven't been doing that kind of shit for a really, really long time. And I think they're very out of touch. But even a man who's completely out of touch with his role as a masculine man, when the chips are down, he's going to be forced to revert back to his factory settings. And if he does not, effectively do so, he's just a piece of meat on the battlefield to buy us time. That is all he is. And again, it's like the fact that I get treated as a second class citizen in the eyes of women. These women don't want to fuck. They don't want to have families with me. They don't want to do anything. But then they have the balls to say, pick up this gun and go fight and die for women that don't give a shit about you. It's just like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, why would I do that? If I'm going to go and fight, it's going to be for my own reasons. If anything, it has nothing to do with them. As far as I'm concerned, let them have Ukraine. I don't care.
Yeah. And with my hypothetical situation, I'm like, okay, this be the very first time, which even though hypothetically it's not going to happen, very first time for a woman to be like, okay, you've been preaching, all y'all been preaching for the last 60, 70 years that you're equal to men in all variables, everything. In fact, plenty of y'all say that you're superior to men. Plenty of y'all said that men ain't shit. We don't need men. Men are obsolete.
Yeah, and
Go
deep down,
pick up
let's
that
be
weapon.
yeah, but let's be real though. I think even the most blue pill of man, he knows that he's stronger than a woman. But a lot of these guys, they don't have the balls to just put their foot down and say that because they think it's going to interfere with their ability to get box if they just stand up for what they know is true. So they bite their lip, they don't say anything to avoid the HR complaints, and so that they can secure some pity box from time to time. That's why they don't oppose what these women say, because they think it's going to jeopardize their ability to get box, which is the dangers of making it the center.
When I explained this earlier, though, with a female family member of mine, she had nothing to say. And I'm like, that's why I fucking thought. Like, you are one of the hardcore feminists that I know. And when I spit out the facts, what's happening in Ukraine and what may happen in the U.S. and the uncertainty that you have, how do you know that men that's been treated like shit all this time is going to fight on your behalf? Here, I will literally give her a rifle just to rub it in her face. I don't give a fuck. Here, grab it. You good luck. Hey, look, there's a Russian tank coming down the street. Go for it.
Yeah, and looks like Young Buddha too. He's asking about the separatists in. I'm assuming you mean Donetsk and Luhansk. Yeah, that's a whole separate thing. That's been around since like 2014. The whole point. Yeah, the whole point of that was just to destabilize Ukraine because you're not allowed to join NATO if you have some sort of destabilizing element. So Putin deliberately engineered that so that Ukraine couldn't join NATO. That's why he did that.
Exactly. It's just hilarious. It's too funny. What's happening with the situation because plenty of people in the let's say manosphere, I guess, or people that's along those lines are literally pointing this out today. I saw like countless videos of people point like, "What the fuck? What do you mean? Where are these feminists? What do you mean the men are forced to fight and die?" You know,
yeah,
it's not just me.
Yeah, isn't it beautiful how like all of a sudden like for the past 60 years, yo, what about traditional norms and stuff like this? What about family? Hey, fuck you, man. Like, yeah. And then all of a sudden you drop a few bombs, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now we know what you're talking about. Bullshit. You knew all along, man. It's just that now you can't criticize us without avoiding social disapproval. That's what it is.
Exactly. And now it's just too funny. Like I love it. Like men, when I was out there today, men were literally like, it's great. It's great. And I don't hear any feminists in sight. I really do not. Okay, speaking of the feminists, before I continue to that subject, will still be along the lines of Ukraine. Great. Do you have anything to say about the little rant I did before?
Well, quite frankly, I think you're being too generous with these Ukrainian women. Because the ones that, well, you said that a bunch of them chose to stay behind and fight.
Well, I said they can have the choice, but majority.
Well, you said some of them did. You said some of them did.
Well, yeah,
I'm thinking some of them stayed behind. I don't really think they're gonna do much fighting.
Well, no, they're not. I understand that, but what I'm saying is they do have the choice, but majority chose to leave, skedaddle. I'm a new man in these NATO countries,
and I'm willing to bet that the ones that ran were the ugly ones.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, the ones that know they can't get on their back, spread their legs, and get some hot Russian D.
Pretty much. Unless depending on how long the battle goes,
Well,
the Russian soldiers be like, you know what?
It's been about 3 weeks. I guess I could do it 3.
Happened. That sometimes happen in the Middle East, when soldiers they are like co-ed, like if they're both female and male soldiers, whether it's like Air Force or Navy or Army, eventually, that dyke looking girl, you see the man like, you know what?
Juggernaut law is a thing.
Yeah, you got those desert goggles going on. Like she goes from a 2 to a 8, after like 3-4 months. Like, what? She does got a nice ass, you know what I'm saying? It's that flowing testosterone, man.
Just brown bag it.
No, and now here's the funny thing. So like these Ukrainian guys are given the ultimatum, like, fight and die for us, or else what?
Yeah, it's a bullet from a Ukrainian soldier or a bullet from a Russian soldier. I mean, at that point, it's like, I'm dead no matter what. I don't give a
fuck. No, here's the thing, though.
It's Ukrainian.
Well, if you say, yeah, I'll take the Russian bullet, they give you a free gun.
I mean, yeah, I'd prefer the warrior's death to the... I'd rather die on my feet than die on my knees.
You take the warrior's death. I'm saying, like, you could desert and be hunted down without a gun, or you can desert and be hunted down, and you have a free gun.
Well, that you're not wrong, but not too many of the Ukrainians knows how to use a gun anyway, like the civilians.
Hey, it's good for dude. In this case, I'd say better to have a gun that you don't know how to use than to not have a gun.
True.
But yeah, it's a straight up lose-lose situation. Regardless, you get a bullet in the back for deserting the battlefield, or a Russian tank has his barrel in your face.
Actually, it reminds me of this story I saw a couple days ago. So, 2 Chinese generals are going to battle, ordered by a very strict lord. They're both running late. So one turns to the other and says, what's the punishment for being late? Death. What's the punishment for rebellion? Death. Rebellion it is then.
Well, shit, might as well, What's the punishment of being too early?
Like, that's the thing. Like, well, no, you have that option. They're both running late. But that's the thing. So these Ukrainian guys, they're already fucked. And Putin, again, he's extending the olive branch to the military. Basically, all these men who just watch their women fuck off, watch their prime minister president fucked off, because guarantee he's between 16 and 60. He ain't fucking sticking around with a rifle. Nah, his ass long gone.
No, and it's crazy how Putin did extend the hand, saying like, "Hey, don't fight me, bro. Hey, I am not your enemy if you choose not to be my enemy."
That's the thing. Like, Putin's playing right as he knows what's going on. So I'm willing to bet that Putin's about to get a whole bunch of new recruits, new concubines, and a whole bunch of state-funded ammunition rifles.
Well, a lot of them will have no choice but to come back to Ukraine when the battle's over. A lot of them.
But here's the thing: do they want to come back to a Ukraine that betrayed them and they then fucked off from, or do they want to come back to a Ukraine that their new boss just conquered?
Well, no, the new boss is, you're talking about Putin, right?
Yeah, I'm saying the Ukrainian guys, if they go over to Putin, they've got a better chance of being able to go home and resume their lives.
Yeah.
Versus if they stick with the Ukraine that just tossed them to the wolves.
I definitely agree. Yeah, I definitely agree. And I see why Putin's saying that. It's like, hey, what I'm doing is beyond your comprehension right now, but don't be fighting for a corrupt government. Don't die on their behalf. They pretty much said you can't leave anyway, so that should be a giveaway.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, fuck. Honestly, even if Putin could fucking turn around and walk away today, and I'm willing to bet that a good chunk of Ukraine would just fucking rebel against their leadership.
Oh yeah. Oh, the longer this battle goes, it's going to happen.
See, he could just turn around right now and say, you know what? I've made my point.
That's what I'm saying. And
he won't.
No, he won't.
No, he won't. No.
But that's the thing. But he's kind of already, even if he loses right now, he's already won in that sense.
Yeah, sure, he made his point, but this guy wants his crowning achievement in the history textbooks to be that he single-handedly revived the Soviet Union before he died. That's what he wants.
Yeah, it's a hypothetical situation if he walked away.
Oh yeah, definitely a lot of extra political stuff. Although that does actually bring up that there is one obligation that NATO does have to Ukraine, and that is that Ukraine gave up their nukes in exchange for NATO protection.
Yep, and NATO's like, hey, we cool, but we ain't that cool. So
they're not going to fuck with a nuclear power just to protect a bunch of strategically irrelevant land.
Of course, it's a very smart move not to.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely, it makes no sense for NATO to do it.
No
Correct.
sense.
But
China's taking notes though. China's watching closely. They're like, "Ooh, I think this is what we're going to do with Taiwan."
But that's the thing. But
China is trying to be the bigger person right now, quote unquote. Take it with a grain of salt. But they're trying to have some type of peaceful resolution for the Ukraine thing.
Yeah, on the surface.
On the surface, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
No,
but that's the thing. But but it's funny. This is also just pointing out that whoever made that deal with NATO, be like, yeah, we'll give you our nukes in exchange for a pinky promise that you'll intimidate people who try to fuck with us. And then NATO's like, oh, yeah, that debt that I owe you from 25, 26, 28 years ago. Yeah, about that, guys. Sorry.
See, and even though there's various reasons why this is happening besides, Putin's taking advantage of Ukraine not having nukes. But in the end, this will be a lose-lose situation if Russia goes beyond Ukraine, which I don't believe he will. I personally, at least for now, I don't think he's going to go beyond Ukraine.
Well, no. Here's how I look at it. Right, in 2008, he tried to take Georgia. He failed. There's 2 breakaway states there, Abkhazia and South Ossetia. So he kind of has a foothold there. He's on pretty good terms with Armenia. Azerbaijan, he's kind of okay with that. Most of the stands in Central Asia, which used to be part of the Soviet Union, he's okay with most of them too. They're part of his like economic union. So, like I said, I mean, if he gets Ukraine, he'll probably like fuck off maybe for a couple of years. But if you think he's gonna stop at Ukraine, he's just no, it never happens. What ends up happening is they take a state and they're like, is anybody gonna do anything? No? Let's see what else I can get away with. And
Like,
I think he would have to plan for a little bit while longer than 2 years.
I mean, it took 8 years between Crimea and Ukraine. Fair enough. But I'm just saying, for all we know, over the course of that 8 years, Ukraine is just phase one of whatever he's been planning for 8 years. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, but that's where the political victory comes in. Like he's already proving right now that NATO is fucking useless. That
True, he's proving that they're incompetent, and if they're incompetent, they can't be trusted or followed.
Which means that all he has to do is, and with all this publicized death and destruction, all he's got to do is look kind of sideways at another country, and they're going to be a little. They're going to be intimidated into being like, I really don't want to be bombed the shit out of. And the people that we're currently allied with are useless, so maybe better to get under Russia's good side while we still can.
But in the end, Russia does not want to go head-to-head with the United States because we still overpower them military-wise. I'm talking about besides the nukes.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
military-wise, and NATO as well. They're pretty good with their military per se, and he doesn't want to get jumped.
Correct, but the West would win at the end of the day in World War III type scenario. But the question is not whether or not we'd win. We know we'd win, but what would be the cost? And is it a cost we're willing to pay?
I don't think Putin is willing to pay that cost, personally.
Quite frankly, okay, the West could win if all of their military assets were deployed effectively. But okay, let's say we do get a bit of a Ukraine situation. Now we're not going to get like US, Canada, they're not going to get the same situation Ukraine's in right now. The geography just doesn't allow for it. Russian tanks are not going to be storming like into Alaska or Los Angeles ever.
No.
So it's all going to be, you got to get a whole bunch of US and Canadian citizens who watch this shit unfold, who have been dealing with the fucking government pulling all this bullshit for the past couple of years and saying, oh yeah, go overseas after we jab you up with whatever the fuck we think you should and die. Like, for other countries that don't give a shit about you and have been kicking you while you're down.
But that's the thing, I personally believe he's only going to be touching countries that are not part of NATO for now.
Correct. It's the only thing that makes sense.
He's not going to go any farther with the NATO countries. Anytime, I say for years to come, he's not going to be going towards the NATO countries. Nobody will win.
Yeah, but NATO's going to be one descending. But NATO's going to want to put a bunch of people in the line of fire to die for the sake of getting casus belli to send NATO forces against Putin.
I know, but I'm saying in the end, the World War III, the nukes, like, come on, like, Putin will have no choice if he gets ganged up on by NATO.
Yeah, if anyone's played Metal Gear, they know nuclear deterrence theory.
Right. That's the only reason why we didn't go balls to the wall playing Fortunate Son through Ukraine right now. That's pretty much the only reason, because of the nukes. But Joe Biden said in his conference multiple times, we are not going to be sending American soldiers to Ukraine, because even though he's senile, he knows better. Like
more like his handlers know better. I'm pretty sure he can't put together a comprehensible thought.
But in the end, like, Putin knows, everybody knows. If it goes way too far, everybody loses. There's no winners coming out of this. So he has these multiple reasons why he's doing it, whether it's true or not. So that's why he's using that as the excuse for Ukraine for now. So even though both sides are protesting, like, Moscow. There's protesting in Moscow, protesting in not Ukraine, but was it the U.S.? Yeah, there's protesting in the U.S. And speaking of protesting, right? So these liberals and feminists, this wait, what?
It's just right, they're protesting Putin in the U.S.
Yeah, liberals and feminists. So, which is crazy, right? Because there was I have to look up the poll because Tim Pool talked about it today in a clip.
Yo, I think Gray needs an oxygen tank, bro.
Can we just,
Gray,
can we just be like, hey, okay, you want to protest? Here's a ticket to fucking Russia. Go right the fuck ahead.
They won't. But what I'm trying to say is Tim Pool talked about this, right? He said, like on his website, there was a poll stating that majority of liberals, mixed with the feminists, the alphabet community, etc., they believe that we should be sending forces to Ukraine and not give a damn about the U.S. Like they believe we should be sending our forces over there.
Yeah, they think
not worry about the U.S.
Yeah, they think that the U.S. should send people who aren't them to go die for the sake of whatever.
That's what irks the fuck out of me, right? Because you see throughout social media about hearts and minds going to Ukraine. Somebody needs to do something about this. Prayers for Ukraine. But that's not doing shit. There's already around last time I counted 3,500 deaths on the Russian side and around 400 or 500 deaths on Ukraine around there. But there's a lot of dying going on. None of your fucking prayers and shit is going to work.
That reminds me of Anthony Jeselnik, where he said he did a skit and he said, "Oh, my thoughts and prayers, my thoughts and prayers." You know what that's worth? Fucking nothing.
Nothing. I still see bodies littered on the goddamn streets in Ukraine.
Yeah, tell the dead bodies and their ghosts about your thoughts and prayers.
Really? We're gonna pray to God that this
ship it with Amazon Prime.
Ship your prayers over there. Make sure you get it to the Ukrainian president. Make sure he gets it.
Okay, everyone confused with those numbers. Like, did you say like the Russians have taken 7 times the casualties of the Ukrainians?
3,500 total, yeah. Within you, remember they have a lot more soldiers.
A lot more targets.
Yeah.
So you're telling me the attackers using long-range missiles have taken 7 times the casualties of the people who are getting blown the fuck up?
The count will most likely went up with Ukraine, but last time I saw today, 3,500 deaths for Russian soldiers so far.
That is I don't know. That just seems like a really high attrition rate.
They also know the land better. The Ukrainians.
So it's pretty much us going to the Middle East.
Yeah, exactly. Guerrilla warfare type shit.
Russia is not as technological as us. So, yeah. But in the end, they're fighting on multiple fronts, north, south, east, all fronts. So there's multiple fighting happening at the same time. So that is a lot of sense in itself on why Russia would have a lot of casualties on top of NATO currently, especially Germany, sending what's it called, RPG, SAM missiles. What else do they send? Look, they send a shit ton of weapons for them to use. So there's plenty of tanks taken out, especially with the what's that one thing where you throw that starts with M.
Molotov cocktail?
Yeah. Taking out tanks or the BTRs, I think BTR 80s and shit.
Molotov's taking out a tank, like.
I mean, yeah, it could.
It could.
Well, I guess, yeah, like freaking.
If it ignites the gas, yeah.
On top of, taking down helicopters, taking down tanks, all that shit, I can't believe the 3,500 deaths. I could look again with the Ukraine deaths because once again, the deaths
that's the thing. Just like
rose because remember they did not reach the main cities yet.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
Putin
blowing
didn't
up
completely
bridges to
capture
keep
them.
them at bay.
Right.
Hmm.
And in fact, a couple of bridges were destroyed to keep Russia at bay.
True,
Yeah.
because for Ukraine it is a stall game. They need to prevent Russian aggression as far as they can. But
See, that's what I was
damn.
thinking. Yep, javelins and anti-air missiles as well. Okay.
Hmm.
Yep. But it's gonna be bloody within the next few days. It's going to personally. There will be more casualties, but I don't see Ukraine winning at all.
Same.
Nope. It's only a matter of time because they're just severely outnumbered, and unless Russia can't afford the operations anymore, economically, or Putin's like, you know what,
Yeah, like Afghanistan
negotiation,
all over again.
yeah, like Afghanistan all over again, yeah, because of course, depending on the situation, there's always going to be some quote unquote insurgents in the future, right? Like what that guy P said when the U.S. went to Afghanistan and Iraq. There's always going to be people trying to kill Russian soldiers. Like, I'm not saying they're going to do it, but there's IEDs, VBEDs, whatever. But in the end, Russia is taking a lot of casualties, but doesn't mean they're going to give up. Putin is too far into it now.
Oh yeah, you couldn't just turn around right now. And honestly, that kind of I'm honestly kind of stumped. A 7-1 attrition rate. Like 3-1, I can understand. That's the typical math for assaulting a fortified position.
Oh, like I said, you gotta look up the numbers then.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I don't really have my.
But I do confirm 3,500 deaths for Russia so far. But it annoys the hell out of me how literally, while we having a shit ton of issues in the States already, especially with the convoy that's about to head to DC or already in DC. I don't know if they're there yet. They want to focus on every other country that's having issues besides our own. And this is the voting power, gentlemen. This is the majority of voters.
But now this is actually something that I did see. So, like, again, Canadian, so YouTube will send me like Canadian recommendations on the news. And one of them was our fucking head health lady. I have to avoid a stronger word there, so I'll just go with lady. Saying Canadians need to be ready for lockdown measures to be reinstated if case numbers rise. Yeah, the last time they said that, Big O showed up and everything went back down into a harsher lockdown. And they've been promising shit's going to lift on March 1st. That's the expected due date. So I think that we're going to be getting Beer Bug Spring 22 edition soon too.
No. At this point, everybody's gonna be sick of it. It's gonna be over.
But that's the thing. But like,
it's gonna be over.
I don't know though, because like they're priming for it to come back. Like they wouldn't go out and make this official statement if they weren't trying to prime it in people's minds. But
regardless,
more lockdowns.
It doesn't matter what they say if there's 300-something million people are saying fuck this.
Well, yeah, that's the U.S.
That's the U.S. There's like 30 million people in Canada.
She was talking about Canada. I'm being retarded. Yeah, okay, Canada. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I was talking about the U.S. My bad. Because I'm like, the U.S., we don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. But the Canadian officials are priming Canadians for another round of lockdown.
Yeah, I don't see that anywhere at all. Oh man, I don't know. That's gonna make shit escalate. They have to go another round because they keep saying, "Oh, things will be over," like you said back in 2020. They say, oh, it's only going to take a couple weeks in March.
I heard Trudeau, he cleared out the truckers and he targeted their Bitcoin shit. Is that true, Greg?
He's targeted. Honestly, he's targeted a lot of stuff. Well, this is actually YouTuber related. Any of you guys follow Mr. Obvious?
No, not until a couple days ago when he was popping up on YouTube.
I've heard his name, but I can't say I've watched this stuff. No.
Yeah, the quartering mentioned him, and this other person did.
Well, the thing is, like he's gone completely dark for the past couple days after saying that he was going to go homeless, and like people don't know for sure why. And there's also like the prospect. He hinted that he might self-delete as well, and the suspicion is that he donated to the truckers, and Trudeau froze his account.
Is he Canadian?
From what I've heard, yeah.
Huh.
Like, so that's the thing. Like it's not Trudeau's going for Bitcoin. No, Trudeau's going for your actual bank account.
Right, and I thought the truckers were trying to use crypto as like a workaround because of the decentralized nature of it. But I heard he was going after like Bitcoin addresses and shit.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. The Canadian government is using all their powers to track down anyone who's donated to the truckers in any capacity. Like you have people handing truck drivers cash to avoid financial tracking.
Yeah, isn't it interesting how when you look at someone like Canada and you look at someone like Russia, they're both authoritarian. It's just that Russia's more direct in its authoritarianism because they're fed up with bullshit, while Canada, they're a little bit more indirect with their authoritarianism, but it's the same exact garbage.
Yeah, hey, Trudeau straight up says we need to support Ukraine to oppose authoritarianism.
Yeah, right? Exactly. How hypocritical is that? I'm sorry, am I getting too based?
No. So why did Trudeau lift the emergency act so quickly?
Well, he lifted the act. I mean, he got rid of the powers that the act granted him.
But it was pretty quick.
A lot of stuff was rushed through.
Yeah, like he was like, because I think he announced it, last week?
Well, that's the thing. Before it was ratified, he basically didn't have the support of the provinces. Like, essentially, the state level. He didn't have the state level support that he thought he'd get. But at the same time, I think it was just a PR move to make it look like he was chilling out. But the powers that he's already using, he may as well have not taken it back. It just makes people think, oh, yeah, we won. The truckers won. Trudeau pulled down. It's like, no, motherfuckers. He still has all this power. He's still fucking abusing it all. It's just now y'all are fucking focused on Ukraine because the show in Canada is over.
Exactly.
I see what you're saying, man. You guys know what time it is. It's time to chill. If you support my channel, the Warband overall, please donate to paypal.me/Yeetus. Let me know if you have something to say or a question you want me to read immediately. You can donate that way as well. Or just give the channel a like. It doesn't matter. All the support is very appreciated. Now we're going to add these last two people because I already said that this stream won't last long. Carry on.
Hi, can you hear me well?
Yep, we can hear you. Just some random guy.
Yo, what's up, guys?
All right, what's going on? We're going to start with Carry On. Carry On. Based on my conversation when it comes to the hypocrisy of feminism in Ukraine and how that's literal proof right there in front of the whole world's eyes. Well, what's your perspective?
No one should have been surprised. They've been promoting that they will do this since the beginning. And anyone that is surprised is an idiot or has chosen to be blind on purpose. Or they are part of the people that are playing the game to trick people. So there's only three possibilities. So it's rather you're playing the fool because you already knew, or you're actually idiot, or you're the one deceiving people. So those are the three options. Besides, that's the only way you can say, oh, I didn't know this would happen. It's like everyone knew if they were actually looking.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. There's people that just chose to be blind to the whole situation, or they're literally ignorant of what's happening around them, probably because they have it too good, in my opinion. Um, just some random guy.
Yep.
Your turn. What's your perspective on the topic today?
I mean, Ukraine is pretty much lost. It's only a matter of time. If not now, it's gonna be a bit later. But if Russia started this conflict, they're gonna see it and they're not gonna back down.
No. And what about the feminists that's supposed to stay there and fight alongside with the Ukrainian men? Because they're
I
equals,
mean,
right?
I was in the chat a bit while ago, and when I saw that news, I sent it to a woman I know, and she flipped the shit out of me. I just laughed my ass off. I just copied the link, sent it to her, and wrote down equality.
Pretty much, man. Pretty much.
I mean,
So,
she was saying like, oh, but there are women fighting there, and oh, but most of the ones that left had children. I mean, so the father of those children can have to go die, but none of the mothers have to. I mean, doesn't seem equal to me.
then we're going to have an even bigger single mother problem, right?
they're basically manufacturing single mothers.
But I have one more question for you guys. And we're going to start with that guy, Pete. So, that guy, Pete, do you see a similar situation? Once again, hypothetically, let's say if the U.S. gets into war, do you see a similar situation happening with Ukraine? Uh, and if it does happen, where they're like, "Oh, the women leave, and you men, hey, you gotta pick up a weapon and die for your country," what would you do?
Well, absolutely, you're gonna see that. I mean, like, remember when they were talking potentially about instituting the draft and applying it to women as well, and women started tweeting about how to avoid the draft. Remember that? And they were talking
We were
about
that
how, like,
close.
oh, yeah, and they were like, "Oh yeah, just get pregnant and shit like this, and then you can't fight." Blah blah blah. It's like, oh, how very quickly you become traditional when it might attract the ultimate form of social disapproval. You get like fucking Swiss cheese with lead. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
But
you saw
anyway,
the memes, right? Where the women they change it to a apron and pretend to cook in the kitchen and shit. Like,
yeah,
wow.
or Bill Burr, he made the joke like, "Oh yeah, they just twist their hair into pigtails. Oh, I'm just a girl. I'm gonna go play jump rope." Like, so I mean, like, yeah, I just look at it like, I mean, at the end of the day, bro, it's like, I mean, yeah, I got a life here, but it's like, look, man, either we're gonna throw you in jail or you're gonna go fight. I mean, I don't really know what I would decide if it was like up to me. Like, I don't really know. I haven't really thought that far ahead.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but you just said you would pick up a weapon if it's your choice and for your reasoning only, right?
I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, what's wrong with having an outlet for my natural caveman urges, right?
Right.
But it's it's not ideal. I mean, I would have to know how to fucking use a gun. I don't think I'd want to go in there not knowing how to use one like these Ukrainian civilians. That's for sure. I'd want proper training. Otherwise,
That is
I'm
true.
just wasting time.
That is true. What about you, Gray? If the same thing happened in the U.S. and saying, "Hey, the women and children, all you guys can leave, but you men pick up a weapon and die for your country,"
Um,
for you,
I
Canada.
think, yeah. I think I'll take my chances with a Canadian winter out in the wilderness.
Oh shit! Hey, you're honest though. You're like, hey, this is not my problem. Like, this is not my society.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
great.
honestly think I'd have a much better time fucking off into the woods and having to fucking deal with survival that way than dealing with the fucking military.
You're great. You just gotta be careful not to catch Canadian AIDS.
Oh my god! But
I haven't heard of that. What the heck's Canadian?
I don't know.
Canadian AIDS is when they freeze your bank account.
Oh,
Oh no, they're not gonna they're gonna fucking freeze the goddamn local wildlife.
yeah.
And-
Unless they
Like,
find a
Freeze your
way,
log cabin.
they'll find a way.
I said they'll freeze your
They
log
could.
cabin.
Yep. they'll
Dude,
freeze
all I need is a fucking tent. I got fucking survival gear. All I got to do is grab a half decent tent.
That's true. You don't need much.
Like,
You
there's
just need-
miles upon miles of fucking wilderness. Like, there's no ATMs in a fucking maple tree. Okay,
Hey, that is true. But we're gonna go
and
to carry.
and I do have I do have some backups in harder currencies. So
It's all good, man. But carry on.
Yep.
All right, you're next. What if they told you, hey, you got to pick up a weapon and die for your country, and all the women that claim they're feminists and equal to men in every way, they get to leave?
What country? Am whoa. I'm a citizen of the world. I don't have a country. What are you talking about? Shit. I have
What are you talking about?
I have flat foot. I have asthma. Oh shit! I can't do shit anymore, man. I'm going blind. Shit. I might have COVID. Hey, you send me that, people might get sick. So I should stay away. Yeah, but I don't have a strong connection to the country that well, any country that, like, you just say, oh, because, like, it's not because I'm an immigrant. Like, I like the culture of the country and so on, but I don't have a, like, I'll die for this place. I don't have roots besides my family, and my family are prepared to leave if necessary or shit gets bad. So it's like, what do I have to actually care for this country that I can't just move somewhere else? It's not like I don't have children, I don't have a wife or anything like that. That is going to be hard for me. I have to fight for this country. It's like, I'm technically a Roman person. Like, I'm technically just free, and I have no roots and the wind, so I can go wherever I want because I have no roots and foundations in any country, so to say. So if another country wanted me to go there for work, I'll go there and work there. Like, let's say I went to any country in the whole flipping planet. I went to China, and after I got married there, I'll probably become a Chinese citizen more than a British citizen because I have a family there and all that crap. But I don't have that in the country I was born in. So why should I fight for it if I have no connections to it? Just besides, I was born in this one place and that's it.
I agree with you. Okay, I definitely agree with you. What you're saying. There's literally there's no point. There's no point. Especially you don't really have any type of patriotism. No type of, like, I just live here. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, not to the nation. To the. Yeah, I have it for the spirit of the country, but not for the country's physical and the rulers. So to say, I don't love them.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Just some random guy. You're the last person.
Yep.
Did you hear my question?
Yep. If the war came to my country, right?
Yep. And the feminists can leave, and you have to stay and die.
I would get on the plane.
Whoa, damn.
I mean, if they try to stop me, I'm gonna say, "How dare you assume my gender, you bigot!" Slap in the face.
I was about to say transition. Just, be like, what is it? Non-gender conforming lesbian or some shit like that. Yeah, just do that, bro.
Yeah, I just don't want to go to the surgery. All right. I have a 10-inch long, but I mean,
surgery was
like
put off due to COVID. How dare you assume my gender?
My dick is male, but in my chest beats the heart of a female.
God damn it!
But
oh man.
hey, I'm about to read this. I'm about to read this quick super chat. Then we're going to start closing it up. I don't want you guys to be on here for the next few hours. CM, thank you for the donation. And all this person has to say is, I like your live streams. Why, thank you. I'm pretty serious most of the time, but we all need to have a little laugh here and there. But all I'm doing is I'm giving you my perspective, along with the truth as well. And I love it when people wants to challenge my stance. That's how men's supposed to interact and get a common ground. New ideas, that's what we do. But just some random guy, what do you have to say to the Warband?
I mean, God, we gotta take care of ourselves. I mean, we don't. We should stop trying to play hero and carrying burdens that other people refuse to carry, but they are willing and able to throw them on our shoulders. They want all the benefits, all the rights and privileges, so to say, that we have, which we don't, but they don't want any of the responsibilities.
Yep, I agree with what you said, man. But definitely stop by on the stream tomorrow. I'm gonna continue to do a stream every day, just in case shit gets
Nice.
real.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I have to see when my surgery is gonna be.
Hey, it's all good, man. But hey, thank you for joining, man. And Puniti.
Puniti.
Unity. Would that make him just some random girl?
I don't. Hey,
Yo, he totally has to change his name to that now.
he better.
Just some random gal.
And he has to talk in a high-pitched voice. It's non-negotiable.
Oh fuck! You should go on Chronic Stream and do that. But carry on. You're next. What do you have to say to the Warband about the hypocrisy of feminism being exposed because of Ukraine?
Is it already hypocrisy? They were kind of open with it. They said that they were better than us. They said that we were second-class citizens. They said it openly. So it's like, wow, it's so hypocritical. They said they were equal. It's like me saying I'm equal to a dog.
No. What I'm pretty much saying is like we have like proof, like right there. You can't dispute it. Type
But
shit.
we have proof for like the lifetime of humanity. Just go throughout history, like, oh wow, after when Germany invaded France in World War II, the population didn't drop. Actually, new children were born. Wow. When did that happen? Oh, these children look a little bit, what? They seem German a little bit. So it's like, yeah, we knew this happened. Like, it's just more, I guess it's a new shock to the people that were actually looking. It's more upfront, and you don't have to go through a flipping history book or such to get it now. It's just up in your face. Everyone's talking about it. So it's like, wow, yeah, it's good to have more evidence to prove a theory right, I guess.
Yeah, it's the first time in a long time that these weak men, simps, and these feminists are quiet. They've been very quiet for the past few days. Very quiet. Because there's an uncertainty in the air now.
Oh, yeah. They got what they got, their dream of being treated equally in the army. They could go to the front line. Well, so now it seems like equality is not great as people thought it. Like, I feel like some people are tricked into thinking women are actually equal, and those people, I feel really sad for them because they're products of something that they didn't even realize they were. It's like someone that was born in a creepy church that grooms children and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, I feel bad for them. A cult, that's what. The people that were born in a cult, I was like, yeah, I feel bad for them because they're brainwashed into this idea and all that crap. So it's like, I feel bad for you, but at the same time, you're not isolated. You can see everything there is. You're not trapped in a cult where you're only fed this one type of information. There's a whole, literally, the internet is like the largest library in the world. You could find more information about you can find information about a type of dog than your neighbor down the road than like 500. Well, no, let's say 20 years ago, you couldn't find shit really. But we have our largest library in history, and most people don't use it. So if you're surprised by shit that's been happening for a lifetime of civilizations, you're an idiot or you're just lazy.
I agree 1,000,000%. I definitely agree. It's just shit got too comfortable here, and now, there's a little rumbling going on throughout the world, especially in the Western world. They're like, oh shit, do I have to fight? Duh. Oh, not in the U.S. Oh, you ain't gonna get away as easily. Ukraine is different. U.S. Oh, everybody's gonna fight. Hypothetically, if it gets to that point. But thank you, Carry On, for joining.
Yep.
You know, once again, a regular guest on here, and I will be doing another. Yeah, I will be doing another stream tomorrow. Try to join.
Yeah. See you
All
guys
right.
later.
All right.
Puniti.
Ooh,
DT.
Funny.
All right, that guy Pete, you
Yo.
are next. What do you have to say? And do you want to show your channel?
Yeah, as always, go check me out if you want to. That guy Pete, you refuse to invite to gatherings. Can't promise we'll agree on everything, but if you stick it out with me long enough, you'll probably find something that resonates with you. That's pretty much all I'm going to say about my channel. But in regards to the topic, keep close tabs on Russia. Watch them closely, but also watch China and watch Iran. Those three are probably going to be the new axis. Watch them carefully. And you're going to see as those guys start making their moves, you're going to see the women of the countries they invade. They're going to revert to factory settings. You're going to see it over and over and over again. And once it reaches American shores and it's like, okay, time to fight, just don't be surprised if you see the same shit again. You can't, we're telling you here up front, don't be surprised.
All right. You pretty much summed it up very well. A lot better than me. Oh, shit. But thank you, man. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join my live stream to drop some gems. Of course, there's going to be another stream tomorrow if you can make it or just chill in the chat.
Yep, I will try to make it. I will try. I think I'm going to do another video tomorrow because the weekends is the only times I can pump them out. And then, if you're still on after that, I will try to make it.
All right, man. Thank you for joining. And Poo Niti.
Poo Niti, my Buddhas.
And Gray, last person. What do you have to say?
Get your bug out bag ready. Get your tent ready. Get a map ready. Get a weapon ready. And convert at least some of your money to precious metals like gold and silver. Crypto's nice, but when the power grid goes down or you got to get off the grid, it ain't going to be useful.
Very good advice. In fact, I haven't even talked about money yet on my channel. I'm gonna push that down in the future. I don't think there's any point at this point, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Thank you, Gray, for joining once again. You're pretty much the co-host at this point. But definitely stop by tomorrow, man.
Yeah, will do. Thanks again for hosting.
All right, man. Puniti.
Puniti.
All right, gentlemen. It's just me, Sir Yeetus, your boy. Hopefully you guys had a lot of gems given to you today when it comes to this hypocrisy of feminism, where there's full-blown proof on what happens when shit gets real. That's the epitome, once again, that's the epitome of the saying, when the lights go out, so will feminism. Okay? This was a good stream. Pretty quick, not too long. Hopefully you guys had your daily dose of red pills. And I am out. Peace.